I think savings coming out.
Everyone good? Okay. All right. Good evening. I'm calling this meeting of the Legislation Committee to order, and I will read the notice. Board of Alders notice, New Haven. The Legislation Committee of the Board of Alders will meet in person on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Board of Alders Chamber located at 165 Church Street, second floor, New Haven, Connecticut, to hear and act on the following items. 1. OR-2025-0022, zoning ordinance map amendment of the New Haven Board of Alders to change the zoning designation of that 8.6 acre site of the former English Station power plant known as 510 Grand Avenue, MBLU 179-0567/0081 and 501A Grand Avenue, MBLU 179/0567/00802 from a heavy industrial IH zone to a park district. 2, OR-2025-0024 ordinance amendment of the New Haven Board of Alders adopting the Connecticut General State Statute, Chapter 420H, regulation of adult use cannabis, Section 21A-420C, license required for sale, offering, or delivery of cannabis, penalties, enforcement powers of the Commissioner, Attorney General, and municipalities. And number 3, OR-2025-0029, zoning ordinance text amendment approving a petition by Yale New Haven Hospital Incorporated for deviations from the underlying zoning ordinance allow certain signage in planned development district 45. Per order, Honorable Ellen Kupo, Chair, attest Honorable Michael Smart, City Town Clerk. These items are on file and available in the Office of Legislative Services, City Hall, 165 Church Street, 2nd floor, New Haven, Connecticut, 06510. For accessibility related accommodations, please call 203-946-7651 or 203-946-8582. Public comment testimony may also be submitted via email to publictestimony@newhavencg.gov before 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. This meeting may be viewed on the New Haven Board of Alders YouTube page. My name is Ellen Kupo. I'm the Alder of Ward 8, and I am honored to be the chair of this committee. I'd like to pass to my vice chair and then go around the table with introductions.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Richard Furlow, Ward 27.
Good evening, Adam Marchand, Alder of Ward 25.
Carmen Rodriguez, Ward 6.
Eli Saban, Ward 7.
Thank you all for being here. So just a note that we are going to be passing over. We will not be hearing item 1, OR-2025-0022 regarding English Station. And we're going to do a little bit of agenda gymnastics this evening. We're going to begin with item 3 on our agenda. It's OR-2025-0029. And we would ask that the makers of the item please come forward and join us at the table.
Thank you. Rotate.
Rotate. Listen to you. Rotate.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Rotate.
Good evening. Good evening. If you could please state your names and addresses for the record, and then please begin your presentation.
Yes. Sarah Sharp, McDermott, Reynolds, and Glissman at 42 Cherry Street, here on behalf of the applicant, Yale New Haven Hospital, Inc.
Deborah Ford, I'm Senior Project Manager for Yale New Haven Health at 1450 Chapel Street, New Haven.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. So we have before you this evening our petition to amend PDD 45 just for the signage related to the neurosciences tower. As I'm sure you all are well aware, the St. Raphael's campus redevelopment is well underway from the approval in 2020. And during our prior PDD amendment process, we knew that there might be signage requiring some amendment to the zoning regulations, but our signage wasn't developed enough to do it at that point. Now we have our signage package. We spent time with city planning staff going over some of the signs, confirmed that most of them are directional and replacement signs of what's existing. You know, the emergency room has moved, we're changing the signs, that kind of thing. And that these 2 signs for the neurosciences tower exceed what's allowed for wall signage and the canopy sign, sort of at the new entrance to the hospital, really. And just because of the scale of the building and the development itself, we felt that this amendment is appropriate to have a sign that's appropriate to the scale of the building. The only amendment proposed is for the signage size. We are not amending any of the underlying zoning regulations as to lighting. So as the zoning regulations prohibit flashing, glittering, shimmering lights, we don't have any of that. We are compliant, not projecting lighting past the property lines, but it is a large sign, it's a large building. So I know you have pictures in front of you. I have them on the screen here as well. The signs that we're speaking about are at that corner. That neurosciences tower sign, it's the Yale New Haven Health sign at the very top penthouse level of that tower. And if we could just scroll down, so we have the details on the sign and the following pages for the canopy sign, and that is at the new entrance to the hospital. And to the extent there are any questions and details specifically about the signage, I have with me Deb Ford with the hospital, so happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. I just want to, for the record, welcome Alder from Ward 22 who has joined us. Good evening. And does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, happy to answer any questions or go into anything in more detail if you'd like.
Sure. I mean, can you walk us through, like, how is this changing? By what scale?
So the underlying regulations, each zone has different allowances for a certain number of square feet per linear foot for wall signage. For this proposal, we're asking for 3 square feet per linear foot of front building wall, but it's specific to the neurosciences tower on premises sign. So it's not impacting what's allowed, otherwise. It's just for this large scale building. In terms of, I think the underlying zone, I want to say it allows between like 1 and 3 feet per linear foot. I can pull it up specifically if we need it.
Are there any questions from the committee?
I would also add that what we've proposed is designed to just allow the signs that we've shown, and so it's the minimum necessary to achieve those signs. We aren't asking for something that would allow, excess beyond what we're showing. It really is, spanning the canopy and then the sign at the top of the tower. And as you can see sort of from the rendering, it's still modest and appropriate to the scale of the building. It's a very large building.
And I'll just point to Collins, we have a favorable or an approval, advice of approval from the City Planning Commission.
I should note that November 19th from City Planning. Yes, thank you.
Alder Saban.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a very quick question, and maybe I could know this, but if for some reason the name of the center changed or something like that, would you need to come back to us for more approvals, or?
We wouldn't need to come back to you. I would expect that the sign would be the same scale, and this is allowing us to do a sign of this scale. So if we needed a zoning permit or some approval, it wouldn't be the Board of Alders for a text amendment.
But it's not dependent on the actual.
That's
word.
correct.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Alder Marchand.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your presentation. I know you mentioned near the beginning of your remarks that this will comply with all the regs around lighting. So no shimmering and no dynamic displays and things of that nature. But could you just say a little bit more about how they are lit and what that mechanism will be and where the light is being cast and those kinds of things? A little more technical
Sure.
information.
Happy to answer that. So we have asked that these be on a sensor so that if you have a dark afternoon, they will come on. These are LED lit. The sign at the top of the building is approximately 179 feet off grade, so there should be no cast on the ground. The canopy sign is approximately 30 feet off the ground, and while it might project out 10 feet, it's deep set in the property, and we have a driveway that comes in underneath and circles back out. So I do not expect that that would exceed the property line. It would also be balanced by additional site lighting, building lighting, landscaping. I don't have exact lumens for you, but the same typical LED light that you see in our signs today. If you were driving on campus, we have a signage standard, and we tend to stick very closely to that. Does that answer your question?
They are internally illuminated signs.
Okay.
That was going to be my question. So the light filaments or diodes, whatever they are, they're inside the lettering
They
itself.
are.
They're not outside flat,
No,
throwing
they're-
light on
they're
to that
inside.
could reflect or disperse. Okay, great. That was what I wanted to know. Thank you so much.
Long way around. Yep.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Alder Rodriguez.
Just to follow up on my colleague's question regarding the lighting, is this lighting very similar to what was just added to the one Long Wharf area? That
I'm not
is,
familiar with
Well,
that
it's-
sign.
it's the Yellow Haven, they have a lot of offices there.
So I'm familiar with the location, I'm not familiar with the sign and how it projects. So if it is channel letters that you're seeing like this, it would be similar.
Yeah, there's no neon lighting there, so when you are driving, it's not hitting folks on the face. So this is very similar to what that is. It's not blinding, I guess I should have just said it that way.
Yes.
Okay, very similar. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good. Any other questions? Alder Furlow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your presentation. This is a new sign. So just wondering what the standards are as far as energy efficiency for new signs. Because you said that it's kind of the standard of what Yale has used. Is this an upgrade, or is it just pretty much the same thing that Yale has been using?
They went over to LED lighting some years ago when they updated their standard, and so we're in keeping with that. Instead of incandescent lighting or fluorescent tubes, it's LED.
LED is now the national standard or Yale standard?
That's what we are using. I don't know that it's a national standard, but LED is quite a bit more energy efficient and longer lasting.
Okay. And I did hear that it has the ability to adjust with light.
If we have the sensor on the sign and you get a dark day condition, a thunderstorm or a snowstorm, they will come on automatically as opposed to being on a timer that's just set for certain hours of the day.
And do you have the ability to do it manually? Because we do have a few signs that the sensor, for some reason, and I won't say where it is, but the sensor doesn't always work.
If that is a concern, it can be put on a timer. We have found that sometimes that's not reliable either, but if that is a concern, happy to do that.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation. Maybe we'll open it up to public comment. So I will just ask if there are any members of the public present who wish to testify in this item. For a second time, if there are any members of the public present wishing to testify in this item. For a third time, are there any members of the public present wishing to testify in this item? Seeing none. We will move on to the next item. Thank you very much. So at this time, I think we will move to Alder Furlow.
So, Madam Chair, I'm really not sure what to do with this item. No one from the city has come. What is this? I expected that the health department would have been here tonight. I'm not sure why they weren't invited to be here.
Okay.
There's more than one person in the health department that could represent this. And so, at your discretion, Madam Chair, I'm not comfortable with going forward with this without someone from city staff representing. I understand that we won't meet again until February as a board, but if this is not important enough for someone from the city to come, then we'll just have to wait. And we'll, at your discretion,
Sure.
and we'll deal with it in the new term.
Indeed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's just my feedback.
Thank you, Vice Chair. That makes perfect sense to me. So it probably makes sense that we pass over it this evening for it to be, to keep it committee and hear it in the new year.
And I would note also, Madam Chair, that Corp Council did send a substitute amendment here, and so I don't know, since we're passing over it, I don't know whether it is appropriate. So we'll do nothing with this.
Yeah.
So they'll have to just resubmit it at the next, whenever this is heard
Indeed.
in 2026.
All right. So we're going to be passing over on our agenda number 2, OR-2025-0024. So in passing over that, motion is appropriate. Alder Furlow.
Madam Chair, I move that we close the public hearing of this meeting.
Item has been moved in second. All those in favor of closing the public portion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We have closed the public portion of this meeting. Alder Furlow.
Madam Chair, I move item 3 favorable.
Second.
Item has been moved in second. Discussion. Alder Rashawn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is a good idea. I think that there's a small tweak to the resolution that's going to be needed. It's an ordinance amendment, and the effective clauses begin with therefore be ordered, and they really should say therefore be it ordained. And that doesn't change the substance of it at all, but it's just not the right verb for an ordinance amendment. And so I move to amend this item.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Item has been moved in second. A discussion on the amendment. Alder Rashawn.
Madam Chair, as I said in my prefatory remarks, when we have ordinance amendments, the verb in the effective clause should be ordained as opposed to resolved or ordered. And so there are 2 instances of that verb that needs to be changed in the effective clause. And so if colleagues look at page 27 of our packets, you'll see at the bottom of the page, now therefore be ordered by the Board of Alders, and then 2 paragraphs later, be it further ordered that the aforementioned amendments, etc. In both instances where the word ordered in caps is included, we should replace that with the word ordained. And that is all that my amendment does. It's really just about form and not about substance. And I encourage colleagues to vote yes on this motion. Thank you to amend. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Rashawn. Any other discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote on the amendment. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The amendment has passed, and we will return to the item as amended. Any further discussion? Alder Rashawn and then Alder Furlow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm speaking in favor of this item as it has been amended. I think that it's reasonable for Young New Haven to request this change. A large sign, several stories up in the air, will make that sign easier to read and to see. And I think that's a useful role for a sign to play. And a hospital is an institution you want folks to know that it's there because folks are looking for it. So I think good, effective signage is appropriate, and a very large sign at that height and that distance from the ground and from surrounding residences and businesses should not be disruptive or distracting or having light spill over. Similarly, I think the not quite as large sign, but still a fairly large sign above the entryway is also appropriate. And so the City Plan Commission did vote to recommend approval, and I am in support of moving this forward for favorably. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Alder Marchand. Alder Fairwell?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am also in support of giving this a favorable recommendation to the full board. As you know, I always have my eye on light pollution. And so I'm glad to hear that this sign, as colleagues have spoken, that will be high. Just a little curious, and I would hope that maybe in the future, one of our biggest organizations in the city would be a little bit more thoughtful in leading the way and finding solutions for lighting that just meet the standard of with the lighting that they currently have. It would be good for them to perhaps step up and meet this challenge, seeing that they're also a worldwide university. Maybe a student will find some attention and look towards some lighting. But outside of that, what we have now seems to meet the standard of and meets our city ordinances. And so I encourage colleagues to support this item. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. And at this point, a motion is appropriate. Alder Furlow?
Madam Chair, before I make a motion, I would first like to offer my sincere thanks and appreciation to you for chairing this legislation meeting for these 2 years. This being your last term, we are tremendously going to miss you, but we wish you all the best in your future endeavors and your beautiful children and everything that life has for you moving down the road. And so as Vice Chair, I'm sure I speak on behalf of this committee, thanking you for all that you've done, and even through your own personal struggles, you persevered and was here, and we couldn't have done this without you. And so we really thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I guess I'll just take a moment and just say to thank this committee for everything that you bring to every meeting. It has really been an honor to serve on this committee with you. It's been an honor to chair this committee, Vice Chair. I cannot say enough of thank you, especially for last year. You are truly my partner in this committee, and I will miss you dearly, but I will not be far. So thank you all. This truly has been such an honor to serve this city alongside all of you on this committee. Thank you. And with that, Alder Furlow.
Madam Chair, it's my honor to make the motion to adjourn the very last meeting of our legislation meeting for 2025.
Second.
That is moved to second. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? We are adjourned.
Don't hold special meeting.